Officers opening fire on a UPS truck after a high-speed chase during rush hour. The truck stolen, drivers right there on the highway. Images from the scene coming in right now. Also breaking tonight, the U.S. Army Black Hawk down tonight, disappearing from radar. Issuing a mayday just minutes after takeoff, the National Guard losing contact. The major turn on impeachment tonight, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi saying the president leaves us no choice, telling the House today to move to impeach. Then the question shouted at the speaker. She stops, fires back, and returns to the microphone. Joe Biden's fiery confrontation during a town hall today, calling a voter a damn liar, challenging him to an IQ test at a push-up contest. What the voter had just said to Biden. The horrifying images tonight, the death of a teenager in Border Patrol custody. He'd been sick with the flu. He is seen collapsing. Two back-to-back storms, one system set to travel right across the country. Rob times it out. The disturbing video tonight, the moment a woman deputy is tackled. She opens fire to get the suspect off her, accidentally shooting the suspect's mother nearby. Overseas tonight, the violent protests on the streets of Paris. Fires, tear gas, water cannons, fighting to keep their pensions. And the major Alzheimer's headline tonight, the new drug doesn't hold promise in slowing down the disease.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a very busy Thursday night. And we begin with the horrific scene playing out just a short time ago, a dangerous shootout right during rush hour on a Florida highway. Police in a high-speed chase after a UPS truck is stolen across several counties. Right during the evening rush, packages sent flying from the truck. Authorities are on the scene right now, and what they're now saying, what began as an armed robbery, ending in gunfire. Drivers all around. Our Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas, leading us off.
Tonight, brazen urban crime unfolding on the streets of Coral Gables, Florida. A high-speed chase. Police in hot pursuit of this stolen UPS truck. Packages littering the highway with an armada of police cars close behind. The suspect trying to turn, almost hitting a car, jumping on the sidewalk. It all started after an armed robbery involving two suspects wielding handguns. Our affiliate WPLG reporting a victim shot in the head as it unfolded.
The suspect behind that UPS vehicle is extremely dangerous. He has already committed an armed robbery in Coral Gables where somebody has been shot.
At least one of the suspects hijacks the UPS truck, apparently taking the driver as hostage.
Police have guns drawn. Shots are fired. Shots have been fired.
So
you're watching this unfold. You see all those shots fired.
The chase ends in a barrage of gunfire as the man attempts to exit the truck. An active crime scene still playing out.
Just an awful scene a short time ago. Pierre Thomas with us live tonight. And Pierre, we're learning at this hour that this started as an attempted robbery at a jewelry store.
David, this did apparently start as an attempted robbery at the jewelry store. One employee at the store injured, status unknown. The two suspects then carjacked that UPS truck. David, we're getting word from police there appears to be fatalities.
Pierre Thomas leading us off tonight. Pierre, thank you. Also developing at this hour, the U.S. Army National Guard Black Hawk going down in St. Cloud, Minnesota, sending out a mayday just minutes after takeoff, disappearing from radar. The Black Hawk, like this one here, with 3 crew on board, a search revealing the wreckage a short time ago burned against the snow there. ABC's David Curley covers aviation with what we know so far.
Tonight, as darkness was falling, the search for a missing Army Black Hawk helicopter ended with a grim discovery.
It's a catastrophic crash. There's dark marks all along in the tree line.
The burned wreckage discovered just inside a tree line after an intense search.
Helicopter in Mayday. They're not seeing it on the radar at all.
The Minnesota National Guard Black Hawk, with 3 on board, took off from its base at the St. Cloud Airport mid-afternoon. About 9 minutes later, according to emergency radio calls, the mayday was called in, with the helicopter 10 to 15 miles southwest of its base.
We get some other transportation out here in case we have to go out into the wilderness.
Any snowmobiles that maybe we should get pointing in that direction.
Even before the discovery of the wreckage, the Minnesota National Guard tweeted, "Our thoughts are with our soldiers and their families at this time." The Black Hawk is the Army's workhorse helicopter. In September, one crashed at Fort Polk, Louisiana, killing one of the 4 soldiers on board there.
Let's get to David Curley with us live tonight as well. And David, investigators on the scene of the wreckage tonight?
We expect that they will be and get their first good look at first light tomorrow, David.
We know that there was snow on the ground, but weather may not have been a factor. The skies were clear. However, we have learned that this crew was on a maintenance flight. They may have been checking out a recent repair. David?
David Curley with us as well. Thank you, David. There is also new reporting at this hour after that deadly shooting at the Naval Shipyard at Pearl Harbor. A sailor opening fire on 3 civilian workers, then taking his own life. 2 of those workers were killed, another wounded. Tonight, we have now learned the name of that sailor. And here's ABC's Kaylee Hartung on the scene tonight.
Tonight, authorities investigating why a U.S. Navy sailor opened fire on the historic Joint Base at Pearl Harbor. A military official says G. Romero, a 22-year-old active duty seaman, used his M4 service rifle to shoot 3 civilian workers in the shipyard, then killed himself with his M9 service pistol. Witnesses say he was dressed in uniform. 2 victims were killed. The third, a 36-year-old man, is in stable condition recovering in the hospital.
We have no indication yet whether they were targeted or if it was a random shooting.
The rampage put the base on lockdown Wednesday afternoon. Emergency personnel responding within minutes.
And I heard a bunch of shots going off in the area, and we were told by my chief to hunker down.
Romero had been assigned to the USS Columbia, a submarine currently undergoing maintenance at Pearl Harbor's dry dock. The tragedy shocking the base, just as it prepares to commemorate the 78th anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor.
Generations of locals have worked in that shipyard. Certainly a tragedy for everyone here.
So let's get to Kaylee Hartung. She's live from Pearl Harbor tonight. And Kaylee, we know the anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor is just a couple of days from now. Major ceremonies planned there?
Yes, that's right, David. And military officials right now are discussing whether they should upgrade their security for this annual event. Dignitaries and about a dozen survivors from the 1941 attack are expected to be here this weekend. The FBI is assisting NCIS in its full investigation. David?
Kaylee Hartung at Pearl Harbor tonight. Kaylee, thank you. And next to the historic next step in this impeachment showdown, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi saying today the president leaves Congress, quote, no choice, telling the House to move to impeach the president. The president calling it a big fat hoax. And after the speaker addressed the cameras today, a reporter shouting a question, she stopped, fired back, and then she returned to the podium. ABC's Mary Bruce on what played out today. She's on the Hill tonight.
Today, the historic announcement from Speaker Nancy Pelosi. After 2 months of investigation, the House will move to impeach President Trump.
Today, I am asking our chairman to proceed with articles of impeachment.
It's a step the Speaker has resisted for months.
Our democracy is what is at stake. The president leaves us no choice but to act.
We asked Pelosi what changed her mind.
Was there an aha moment for you personally, a piece of evidence or testimony that swayed you now to take this step?
The facts of the Ukraine situation just changed everything. Asking a president of another country to make an announcement that he was investigating the president's political opponent and withholding military assistance that was voted by the Congress of the United States.
At the White House are Cecilia Vega pressing the president.
Are you worried, sir, about the stain that impeachment might have on your legacy?
No, not at all. No, not at all. It's a hoax.
Just 24 hours ago, Republicans insisted Democrats want to impeach Trump simply because they don't like him. As she walked off today, a reporter asked Pelosi if this is personal.
Do you hate the president, Madam Speaker? Because
I don't hate anybody.
Representative Collins,
I don't hate anybody, not anybody in the world. So don't you accuse me.
You did not accuse you.
You did.
I asked a question.
And
Representative Collins yesterday suggested that the Democrats are doing this simply because they don't like the guy.
It has nothing to do with it. Let me just say this.
I think it's an important point.
I think the president is a coward when it comes to helping our kids who are afraid of gun violence.
Pelosi listed issues where she and the president clash, but was adamant their differences have nothing to do with impeachment.
This is about the Constitution of the United States. I don't hate anyone, so don't mess with me when it comes to words like that.
So let's get to Mary Bruce with us live on the Hill tonight. Mary, President Trump tweeting today that if Congress is going to impeach him, that they should do it now fast, is what he tweeted, so that he can have, quote, a fair trial, of course, in the Republican-controlled Senate. And this is all moving very quickly.
David, this is progressing at a rapid pace. On Monday, Democrats who are leading this investigation will present their evidence before the committee that is now drafting these articles of impeachment. And it looks likely that the president could be impeached before Christmas. David.
Mary Bruce tonight. Mary, thank you. And from Iowa tonight, Joe Biden's fiery confrontation with a voter during a town hall, calling that voter a damn liar, challenging him to an IQ test and a push-up contest. So what did that voter say to Biden just beforehand? Here's Lindsay Davis tonight.
In Iowa today, Joe Biden confronted by a retired farmer who says he'll vote for anyone but Trump, but still had some tough words for the former vice president.
I've got two problems with you. One is you're damn near as old as I am. You're too old for the job. I got a question I want you to answer. We all know Trump has been messing around in the Ukraine over there, but you, on the other hand, sent your son over there to get a job and work for a gas company that he had no experience with gas or nothing, in order to get access for the president. So you're selling access to the president just like he was. So
You're a damn liar, man. That's not true. And no one has ever said that? No one has proved that?
I see it on the TV.
You see it on the TV. No, I know you do. Look, the reason I'm running is because I've been around a long time and I know more than most people know. And I can get things done. That's why I'm running. And you want to check my shape on, let's do push-ups together here, man. Dude, let's run. Let's do whatever you want to do. Let's take an IQ test, okay? All right. Number one. Number two, no one has said my son has done anything wrong, and I did not on any occasion. And no one has ever said it. Not
I didn't say you were doing anything wrong.
You said I set up my son to work in an oil company. Isn't that what you said? Get your words straight, Jack.
Hunter Biden came under scrutiny for making tens of thousands of dollars a month on the board of a Ukrainian gas company while his father was still vice president. But there's been no evidence of any wrongdoing by either Biden. The candidate insists he didn't lose his cool today.
You didn't lose my temper.
You didn't lose your temper.
No, I didn't. You want to see my temper? Keep going.
Well, I prefer not to.
Biden is currently on an 8-day, 18-county, 800-mile tour of Iowa. He's calling it the No Malarkey Tour, mostly intimate gatherings in rural areas. He wants people to see he is working for every vote, David.
All right, Lindsay Davis, I know you've spent some time in Iowa and covering this campaign for us. Thank you. And we turn to other news tonight and to the unsettling images revealed today. The death of a teenager in Border Patrol custody. He'd been sick with the flu. He is seen collapsing. Tonight, lawmakers are now demanding accountability. And does the video now put into question what authorities had said before? ABC's chief national correspondent Matt Gutman with the images, and we warn you, they are disturbing.
Tonight, that disturbing new video, the last minutes of a 16-year-old's life in a Border Patrol cell. On May 19th, a week after Carlos Vasquez crossed into the U.S., a nurse at this processing facility diagnosed him with the flu. He had a temperature of 103. He was to be reassessed in 2 hours and hospitalized if symptoms worsened. Border Patrol officials took him to a quarantine facility in a small Texas town where he was put into a cell with concrete slabs and foil sheets, as you can see in this video obtained by ProPublica, which broke the story. Vasquez from Guatemala is obviously suffering. He writhes on the concrete, then crashes to the floor, where he lays for several minutes. He eventually musters the strength to shuffle to the toilet. Once there, he collapses. Then the video the Border Patrol gave local police investigating the case goes black for the next 4 hours. When it returns, Vasquez's cellmate, who also has the flu, wakes to find him unresponsive and alerts the guards. Lawmakers demanding accountability.
I think it was negligent homicide. It is completely unacceptable for a 16-year-old child to die of the flu.
David, current and former Border Patrol officials tell me the agency was overwhelmed with migrants at the time. Still, the agency insists it did conduct those welfare checks on that boy. However, the video seems to indicate otherwise. David.
All right, Matt Gutman on this story from the start. Matt, thank you. We are tracking 2 storms tonight. The second one will travel right across the country again. Meteorologist Rob Marciano tracking it all again for us tonight. Hey, Rob.
Hi, David. The gates are open on the West Coast for this next storm, which is bigger and bolder than the last one. A deep area of low pressure, about 800 miles off the coast here of Eureka. The wind field is expanding. The precip field is going to roll in tomorrow morning, and then the winds will rip up